Hello everybody, it's Adrian here with a Life Mastery Show. It is midday and it's great to be here again live on this show with you. So today I'm actually back in Australia. I'm in my studio on the Gold Coast, and the last couple of shows have been from different places. I was in Malini and then previously I was in Belarus in Europe. But today I am in my studio and it's really good to connect with you again. So just a little bit about myself for people who maybe have not met me before or not been on this show before. So my name is Adrian Hanks. I'm author of Where Am I Right Now, my personal development book, and several other books. And I work as a coach, a mentor, a guide, and also as a life mastery expert in all things physical, emotional, mental, spiritual, and other aspects of one's life. So the idea behind the show is that you ask me questions. So you can type in your questions on here. I'll see them on the screen. And I'm very clear that I'm not using any psychic abilities on this show. So I'm not tuning into the mediumship or the psychic abilities. I'm bringing the practical aspect of getting people to ask questions about where they are right now in their life. So if you have a question about your life right now and you want some support, some guidance, some insight, then please ask that question by typing it here, and I will do my best to answer that question for you. Hi, Rochelle. Great to see you on the show. And if you have any questions, please do ask away. And some of the questions I often get obviously around relationship, vocation, spiritual guidance, meditation guidance, and several things. And what I do on the show occasionally is drop in and share a meditation or such, or some skill or some resource that people can actually take away with them. So if you'd like to take something away, I'm very happy to share some resources with you as well. You can also go to my Facebook page, Adrian Hanks, and have a look on there. There's lots and lots of info on there. And please do PM me and connect up with me on there, because I love to connect with people, I love to share, and obviously I love to share some support outside of this show as well. So if you'd like to come and do one of my programs or come and do some one-on-one work with me, then please just PM me and I will get in contact with you straight after the show. So has anybody got any questions out there relating to life mastery? Hi Kerry, I need some guidance with my career. Okay Kerry, great question, a little bit generic. So what I'm going to ask you to do, if you can, is get a little bit more specific in your question. One of the things I love to do for people is to help them with clarity. And a great way to get clarity is get really clear on one's question. Yeah. So once again, the guidance isn't coming from that intuitive mediumship perspective. I want to get into a conversation with you to get really clear to support you. And one of the things I often share, this is one of the greatest tools I use in my coaching. I've got a little wand, little star wand, and I say to people, if you had this wand and if you could wave this wand, what would you wish for? So in terms of your career, Kerry, what do you really want to do? Because that's the first question. What do you want to do for your career? Because that's where it begins, the wish, the desire. And then once you have that, then I can support and guide you into reaching that guidance that you'd actually like. So so that's the first thing I say to you. Yeah, Maria, share. Rochelle, can you please tell me what I need to do during enhance my spiritual journey? Yes, Rochelle, I can answer that for you. I would suggest find a spiritual path for yourself. Yeah, find a spiritual path that has some context to it that you can follow, so that you're not all over the place with unguided spirituality. So I say to people, find a path, find a way forward of something you really love to study and be with, and then jump on that journey and commit yourself for more than 2 years. Don't keep hopping around from one, from like Buddhism to Christianity to nature study. But if you find one path and stick to that for a minimum of 2 years, you go down a little bit deeper in that rabbit hole to follow that path for yourself. So find something you're interested in, find the books, find the text, find the teacher, because I think it's always good to have a teacher for spiritual guidance. Just like it is driving a car, you get a driving instructor, you learn on your L plates, then your P plates, and then you get a full license. And doing spiritual journeying for me is just like that. I get my L plates, I get a teacher, I learn how to navigate, and then I get my P plates and I test the waters a little bit and drive along in the spiritual world and learn to traverse into the spiritual realms with guidance, of course, because it needs guidance. And then once you're off the P plates and you're off on your own, you still have teachers, of course. The teaching never stops, but at least you have some context to your spiritual journey. You know how to meditate, what sort of text you're going to read, what's your deep understanding of your spirituality. Can you write a thesis or a book or some paper on your belief system and what it actually contains? Because then I know that people actually have an understanding of a spiritual journey when they can write or speak on it with some authority. For me, that's a sign of somebody who really understands their spiritual journey. So if you want to enhance your spiritual journey, Rochelle, PM me, Adrian Hanks, on Facebook. I can have a conversation with you, and I can certainly support you in some guidance if you like that. I am a spiritual teacher. I do help people on their spiritual journey. I've been on my personal spiritual path of anthroposophy for 25 years, which is a Rosicrucian stream, and I've been studying that in depth for 25 years. So a long time. And I've written a few books and papers on spirituality, and I lecture and I talk and share. So I feel like I do have some authority in that space. So hopefully that helps you, Rochelle. Sarah, hey, this is my first time. I'm a Sagittarius and Cancer Moon. I've been on my spiritual journey for over a year and a half. I'm really struggling with letting go of some issues. Yeah, let me just have a look. Yeah, so Sarah, let's get specific on what those issues are for you. So once again, to help you in your guidance, it's about getting clarity. So if you can be more specific for me about what that specific issue is, if it's too private, you can PM me or we can work one-on-one. But if you're happy to share publicly here, write down maybe what one of those issues is, and then I can certainly help you with some guidance. But this is all about getting clarity in the question. It's a very empowering thing to do to get clear. So you let me know what's one of the issues you're struggling with right now, and I'll see if I can actually help you there. Guidance with what happened between lover and me. Okay, Perla, once again, for absolute clarity, I'm not doing any downloading through spiritual guidance. I'm being very practical on this show, getting people to get in their empowerment to understand where they're at. So the question for me is, what's happened between your lover and yourself? That's very generic. Can you get more specific on what actually happened? Yeah. So what happened between you and lover? Are you in a good space, not such a good space? Do you need to find some communication? Do you need to find some relationship coaching? What is the specific issue between you? And then we can move on from there. Where I'd like to be and where I'm not congruent, not choosing to take action. Okay, so Jay. Yeah, Kerry, yeah. Everybody needs one of these ones, and they are magical things, especially when you learn to wave it and then get clear on the desire. So Jay, where I'd like to be and where I am not congruent. So congruent's a really challenging one, isn't it? Sometimes I don't feel congruent in some things I do, and I really struggle being human. But it's about getting clear on what do you want to be congruent in, physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, and all those other aspects of life. And what I suggest is you start to use a journal. You start to actually get clear on where you are every single day in your life. Where are you being congruent, where you're not? And actually journaling it, writing it down. Where you're feeling not in touch and where you're not actually acting out what the mind wants you to do and what the physical body or the subconscious mind is doing for you. Yeah, I know there's a struggle and a fear around it, but it's about getting really more and more each day with that congruency. And I'd say a lot of it starts with self on the physical body. What am I eating? What am I putting into my body? Am I walking my talking life? 80-20 principle or 90-10 principle. So for me, it's about, are we walking our talk? Are we trying our hardest to actually walk that talk to be congruent for ourselves firstly, and then of course for others as well. So I hope that helps. Yep, I need that one. Hello, I was just wondering about money and love. So Kim, same thing. Please get specific on your question, because if you're wondering about money and love, it's just a wonder. But if you have a specific question about it, then please ask me specifically, because I'm not tuning in, downloading the mediumship today. This is about getting you into your power by getting clear on your question and then I can give you some guidance on that. So money is one thing. How do you bring money into your life? Well, money is a study. Money is an energy. And the blockage of money is the mindset. Because if we have a poverty mindset, if we have a blockage around money, then money is not going to come into our life. And for one, money is something that's always been a bit elusive for me in my life. I've had many challenges around it and had lots and lost lots. And in the last 12 months, I've actually been studying. So I've actually joined a company, a Skyway Invest Group, who have education packages that one purchases. And I'm studying. So I've just come back from Europe. I was in Belarus with a Skyway Invest leadership training. I've been there twice now. I was in Kuala Lumpur at a conference there. Been to many meetings here in Australia. I do webinars. I go on to webinars. And I'm learning about money. I'm learning about finance. I'm learning about investing. I'm learning about cryptocurrency. And it's a huge, big educational process for me because it's very, very new. So I've got a multi-millionaire teacher, Andre Havato, who set up Skyway Invest Group. And now I've actually purchased some of those packages. And from within that, I've been gifted some pre-IPO equity shares in two areas, crypto and ready for the stock market next year. And I'm really getting into that money flow, my money idea. So on my vision board now, it's a lot about the focus on money. So one thing is about the study of money and changing the mindset one has around it. And it's probably the same about love. Are we letting love into our life? So I hope that helps a little bit, Kim. And if you want to know more about that Skyway Invest Group, my website is skywaycommunity.com. So anybody else listening in too, and you can come and join my team. You can get free financial education by signing up free, and then if you want to obviously purchase a few education packages that are a bit deeper, you can, but there's lots of free education around money and finance on their skywaycommunity.com. So Lynn, hi, any guidance for me please? First time here. So Lynn, same question, please get specific on your question. Fear, lack of self-love. Sarah, yeah, fear, lack of self-love. So a lot of that, the fear, lack of self-love is part of our history, part of our story, part of our education, part of where we've been raised by our family. And we have to come back to understanding what fear is and what the lack of self-love is. There's three things I often deal with, and you've named two of them correctly here, Sarah. Fear, lack of self-love, and the other is doubt. So I work in those three regions, and nearly everything we do, everything we get blocked by in life is one of those three. It's fear, doubt, or lack of self-love. And we have to attend to those. We have to do the deep psychotherapeutic work to overcome the fear, overcome the doubt, and to overcome the lack of self-love and learn to love oneself. And it's a big, big challenge for many people because of the way they've been in their life, the old story, the old paradigm. So we have to create a new story. We have to find the courage. We have to find the clarity, and we have to find the self-love rather than the self-hatred. So that's a journey. And I'm suggesting one does it by getting some support with a coach, with a somebody in the psychotherapeutic space or some healing space. So same, Sarah, if you want to connect up with me, PM me Adrian Hanks on Facebook, and we can have a conversation and see if there's something I can do with you. So Lynn, first time here. Is my mum going to be okay in her relationship? So Lynn, once again, I want to empower you to find it yourself, because I'm not bringing in the psychic answers today, but is my mum going to be okay in a relationship? Depends on how she is in a relationship in terms of her communication with a partner, I would say, because 99% of all issues in relationships is lack of communication, lack of healthy boundaries, and lack of that connection. So she will be okay as long as she has some relationship skills and her partner has some relationship skills, because the breakdown in relationships mostly is because people don't put the skills in. They don't go and learn the skills. They don't learn the relationship skills. They get afraid of the intimacy and the sexuality, and they don't talk about it. Yep. So a lot of it's around the communication. So if your mum's great at communicating in a relationship and a partner is, she's probably in for a good chance of having a successful relationship. If they're not, then who knows what will happen. But it's all about the deeper connection of the relationship, communication and connection. And that's a skill base. It's about learning that. And it takes, quite a bit of effort to learn those skills. I teach a lot. I do a lot of relationship couples guidance and counseling work. And in that space, I teach people how to communicate on a deeper level. So, hello, I'm curious how to open up my clairvoyance. Okay, Teresa, great question. It's all about training. It's all about finding the right teacher to work with, to find out how do you open up to your clairvoyance, because we are all clairvoyant. We're all clairsentient. We all have those innate gifts. But over the centuries of being human, we've lost that. And how do we bring that clairvoyance back through? We find a teacher and we practice it. And we go to a schooling. We get the L plates, we get the P plates, and then we get our full license. But it does. Some people are naturally clairvoyant and they work with it. And some people are really great at their clairvoyance, and some people are not so good, and it's very generic. I do not do generic clairvoyance. I like to be very specific when I'm working in that field with a clairvoyant or using that clairvoyance myself. Because it's easy to be generic in clairvoyance, which is okay if people want that, but I like to go to the depth and to the very clarity and get specific messages and specific images and specific insights, because they're more helpful for me than next week you're going to meet your soulmate. That really does not work for me. I like to be really specific on that clairvoyance. So if you want to learn that, I'll suggest find a good clairvoyant teacher to work with and take on your L plates and your P plates and move through that. And I'm sure on the spirituality show here, with Sarah and the people on here, there's some really good clairvoyant teachers in there. Difference between a clairvoyant and a teacher could be two slightly different things. Some people are great at clairvoyance, but not so good at teaching perhaps. So find the right one that's a great clairvoyant and a good teacher at the same time. Well, I want money and I have sore back on work cover. Well, there's a connection there, isn't there? If you want money, oftentimes from an energetic perspective, Kim, the sore back is connected to support, is connected to money. I know for myself, in the times when I've had really bad backs, at times when I've really been in that money space and that poverty conscious space, although the lack of money or the want of money. So I'd say, from an emotional trap perspective of where the emotion is trapped in your body, it could be trapped in your back in terms of that lack of money or support. So to undo that is looking at the blockages around money, clearing up that space, and then doing some money education, doing some financial education, just like I've done, to clear that space for you. So I would highly suggest. So if you want some support on that, skywaycommunity.com is the place to go if you want to, and we can certainly go from there and give you some free financial education. So Sarah, yeah, thank you too. Teresa, Lowell, do you teach? Yes, Teresa, I do teach. And I teach from the perspective of what I've learned over the years, 25 years on my own spiritual journey with anthroposophy, which is the work of Rudolf Steiner, who was, yep, there's a wand, it's still waving, and I feel like I'm in a wand space today. And I teach Teresa. I've been on that journey for 25 years myself. I've taught myself through my teachers how to tune into that space. I don't do it publicly. I don't charge for my services as a clairvoyant, but I certainly help people tune into that clairvoyant space. And so very happy to work with you and have that conversation if you'd like to. Just PM me, Adrian Hanks, on Facebook, or you can send a message here to Sarah and she will pass that message on for me. Yep. Yeah, Cindy, I love my wand too. I've got some great tools I use in my psychotherapeutic space, and the wand is one of them. I love to have resources, because just by picking up and holding a wand from an energetic perspective is empowering. Just by holding this, just by giving this to one of my clients when I'm seeing my clients one-on-one to hold, and just to get them to wave it and make a wish, make a desire, it changes. Because as human beings, we love resources. We love to use things. We love to have our tools. So when we have our tools and resources, it brings it into another level. So yeah, I love my one too. And I can often say to myself, Adrian, what are you desiring today? It could be money, it could be love, whatever it is. And then I use my wand to, ignite that desire. And then I write that desire down. So anybody listening in right now, if you have a desire, if you have a wish, write it down. In my psychotherapeutic work as a counselor, we never do a session without the client giving me a wish. because then we know where we're going. So it might be, I wish to have better communication in my relationship. Well, I know that the session I'm having with my client for that time is focused on that wish. And I'm not wasting their time, they're not wasting my time. We're very clear on the direction we're going, and we can spend the whole time with that desire, with that wish to work on in these psychotherapeutic sessions. It's very, very powerful to do that, because then there's clarity. It's a bit like this. Ask your questions with clarity. Get your desire, get your wish, get your question very clear, because the antidote to doubt is clarity. If you want to get rid of doubt in your life, find clarity. It's an absolutely powerful thing to have. I often say to people, sorry, I do not understand your question. I do not understand the situation. Can you be more specific for me? Can you say that again to me? Because I need the clarity. And it's good for them. It's good for me. It's good for the communication. And oftentimes we get into communication and conversation with people and there's a fog, there's a lack of clarity. But if we just take a moment and take a breath and have the courage to speak and say, excuse me, I'm not quite clear on where you are right now, where we're at right now, or where the relationship is right now, or where the conversation is right now. Can we just stop for a moment and bring ourselves back to clarity? It's a great place to come from, because it stops that confusion in the mind. It actually stops conflict a lot of the time just by having clarity. So if you're looking for clarity in life, get clear on your questions, get clear on your vision, get clear on your wish, get clear on your desire, write them down. Get your vision board, get your desire list, get your bucket list, get clear on it, and then open up to the universe and do the work to actually bring those things in, particularly around money and love, relationship, and all those things that we pertain on these shows a lot of the time. They're often the topics. So just get clear on that for yourself. So anybody got any more questions out there? We've had some great questions today, and hope I'm answering well enough. If not, get more specific. Yeah, get more specific if I'm not quite answering that question enough for you. Ask the second level of the question. Oftentimes we start with a question, it gets a little bit answered, and then we have to go down the rabbit hole a little bit to a deeper process, a deeper aspect of that question. I call it, round 2 of the questioning. So if you have something beyond the first question, then please answer that, but you may have a fresh question as well. And you can also go ahead and buy one. Okay, writing it down now. I want a new job. Great one, Cindy, because if you write down what you actually want in terms of a new job, get crystal clear on what you want, and you write it down and you focus on it, and you get some work, some coaching work, some support, some psychotherapeutic work, or some planning. I was with our 2 prospective clients yesterday. We had a Zoom session for about an hour. They've got a not-for-profit and they've got an idea they want to bring to the world, and they've got the vision, and we spent some time on the vision, and then I just stopped them in their tracks and I said, great to have a vision. I know so many people who want to write a book. They have the vision to write a book, but they're not writing a book. They haven't got the plan of how to go forward. So vision, plan, action. So get the vision, write down exactly what you want as a job, and then you have to put the plan into process. How are you going to get that? How are you going to get that job? Do you need to go and apply? Do you need to go and do more study? Do you need some coaching to, undo some old paradigm stories to get into a new paradigm, confidence? Do you need to upskill? What do you need to do in terms of the planning, and then put that into action to go and actually get that job? So, I want to write a book. I thought about writing my book. Took me 3 years to write it, and 3 years to get through the mindset of all the fears around publishing a book. There were lots, and several times I was nearly ready, then didn't do it, and I was nearly ready and I didn't do it, and then I got some support and actually broke through and published my book. And what a great feeling. What a great feeling, because a lot of the things we do in terms of projects like book writing or setting up businesses or changing jobs, there's an old mindset in there. I can't, I shouldn't, I can't, I won't. All those old patterns, and we have to break through those down. So if you want a new job, Cindy, write it down, get clear on what that job is. And if you feel any blockage around moving towards that, then I'd suggest get some support. Very happy to help you with that. Do contact me, and very happy to see if I can support you. You may not have that. You may be going, yep, I want a new job and I'm going to move forward in that. And so these 2 people I was speaking to yesterday, very clear on that. I said, it sounds great. You've got a great vision. I want to support you. I will help you put a documented plan together over 2 or 3 months, because that's what it's going to take, because it's a big project. And I will charge a fee for that, because that's what I do for my work. And if you want to get this project off the ground, you can visualize it all you like. You can wish it all you like, and it may happen, but the chances are it probably won't, unless you put the energy in and the planning in to make things happen. So now we're going to do a 10-step plan of what needs doing in certain action steps: when, who, what, when, where, why, how. We'll put that together. We will then take that document to try and get some funding. And then once we have the funding, we'll do step 1, which is like the seed money. Once we've done all the research, we'll come back, raise more funds through crowdfunding or private investing, and then we'll take that project out into the world. But it's all about planning. And it's probably 3 to 6 months of planning before anything actually happens in real terms. And that's how we have to attend to many things, particularly in new jobs. So write it down, Cindy. Find your plan, get moving. And if you're happy to share that publicly, maybe let us know what that job might be for yourself as well. If you want some support in that, we might be able to do something here live to see what's going on for you in terms of that new job. So if you're happy to share that, you can. Any more questions out there from anybody about life mastery, all things life mastery? Yep, all good, Cindy. Thank you. It's good to have people engaging, and it makes the show a lot easier when people are engaging and asking questions and actually typing a few things on the screen. And then I've got something to engage with. I can talk all day long about different topics and different things, but the whole idea of this show is to engage and answer some specific questions as well. So while I'm just waiting for a couple of questions to pop up on the screen, a little more about what I do, what Adrian does. So I work in that space of being a counsellor, psychotherapist, and also I work as a coach, as a mentor. And some of the things I love doing, I love to go bush. I love taking my didgeridoo, I'm a didgeridoo player, and sitting out there in the bush in nature and just connecting up to nature, and into spirit with my didgeridoo. It's one of the most passionate things I love doing. I'm a father of 6 adult children from a blended family, been married to my second wife now for 15 years. She's from South Africa. I lived in Africa for a while myself, still travel backwards and forwards to Africa. Absolutely love the place, and also love to travel. I've just been traveling the last few months. I've just come back from Europe, from Belarus, and I was in Kuala Lumpur in February, going back overseas again in August, and again going to India in October. So I love to travel, love to teach, and I love to write. So when I put those 3 things down, are the 3 main passions in terms of my vocation. It's travel, write, and teach. So they become my focus. I'm really clear about it. And then, of course, the universe delivers many, many opportunities for me. So I'm just going to jump back on here with Cindy. Reception work is my first option. Okay. So interesting, Cindy, that you say your reception work is my first option. So I just want to break through the language here for a moment. Because is it an option from a limited mind space? And I say that with all due respect. Is it from a limited mindset that you believe they're your options? But if you had the magic wand and you could wish for any job that you would absolutely love doing every day, you jump out of bed and that's your job, or that's your work, or that's your vocation or your passion, what would that be? Is it still reception work? Yep. Is it still reception work? Because the options and the wishes are slightly 2 different things. Yep. Like I have an option to go and do something because it's, what I'm currently, the paradigm I'm in. But my big wish is to be ... Can you write down what that is for yourself? And it may be reception. I'm just going on what I see on the screen, obviously, and it's a quite limited communication when we're just typing and talking. But I'm just trying to pick up on that. I have a visual impairment, so my options are a little limited. Yep, they are limited, but if you have visual impairment, it means that your other senses are heightened when you tune into them. Yeah, that's very, very true. So you're probably a bit more tuned into your intuition because you've had to rely on your intuition a bit because you're visually impaired. Just in terms of your visual impairment, Cindy, is that something that can be improved? For instance, my mastermind partner, Barry Ocketel, we've been mastermind partners for 8 years now. He does vision work, and I've done a lot of his vision work. I do have some glasses I wear when the light is low and the writing is small. I revert to my glasses, not very often, but I do my eye exercises. There's some vision eye exercises that one can do. Yep, and my friend Barry Ocketel actually has some online visual improvement courses. I think there's some free ones on there as well, where you just do some basic vision improvement. The palming and the sunning and the viewing and a few things like that to help improve the eyesight. So one thing is to help improve your eyesight. I don't know what the situation is with yourself, but I'd say that's probably the first thing to attend to, because part of that idea that you have visual impairment is a limiting factor for you, and you want to break through that limiting. Um, let's just have a look here. I have a visual impairment. So my passion is cooking. I'm a qualified chef, but too dangerous to others to do my passion anymore. Okay, so there's probably a whole story in that could possibly be changed, Cindy, about you say it's a bit dangerous. Because if you have that visual impairment, how do you need to improve that now? How do you need to improve that? Can it be improved is the first question. Maybe it can, but in most cases, vision can be improved. There's some great technology out there. There's some great eye exercise out there to help that as well. And that's a choice you may have to make in the now or in the future, to take yourself into that visual impairment future where you have improved eyesight. Because what often happens from an emotional perspective when that eyesight diminishes is because the vision of life is also not being reached as well. So there's an emotional connection, obviously, with the physical as well. So what we find with physical visual, is that the life vision isn't being met as well. So there's often a connection in there too. So that might require a little bit of coaching around that space. So very happy to have a conversation with you in that too, Cindy. So do PM me through Sarah through here, or through Adrian Hanks on Facebook. Christine, love my job working with high needs people, more so the younger ones. Yeah, high needs is an incredible job, isn't it? I've worked with disabilities before with DADEC, and of course as a counsellor I work with people with needs too, mostly on the emotional perspective, because that's where most people come and see me for in my psychotherapeutic practice, is because of the mindset and the emotions. So and we all have special needs, in some way, and but when you're working specifically with that high needs, that's incredible work, Christine. So blessings to you on having the courage and the compassion to work in that space. It's not an easy space sometimes to work in. No, I have RP, a degenerative eye disease. Okay, so the degenerative eye disease, have you had specialists look at it? Have you had people look at it? Do you really understand what's behind it, and can it be reversed? Because a lot of degenerative diseases can be reversed. Yep. We just had a situation last 3 days ago. My wife was doing a webinar. Arlene, my beautiful wife, she's been working with somebody for several months who had 3 vertebrae in the back of her neck. They were compressed on each other. She was advised that she would need surgery, and she was all set. She went to see the doctor. She was seeing the surgeon. They were preparing her for surgery. So the energy work was done. The emotional release work was being done. This lady went to see, I think it was on Monday, she went to see the doctor and then went to see the surgeon. They took new x-rays of the neck, and the surgeon said, I don't know how this has happened. I've never ever seen this before, but I'm not doing surgery on you. I don't need to do surgery on you. There's enough space now between the 3 neck vertebrae in the neck where there's movement, and the pain has gone out of her neck. And she removed it, and she did that through emotional release work and energy work. So it's possible. So I don't know what you've done, Cindy, so far. I don't want to speculate on that, but there might be another level of work for you to do. Oftentimes for us, there's another level to support us in rectifying different things. Yep. Has no cure. I have no provisional vision. Okay, so I would say, have you explored every single area for a cure? And I would say, provisional vision, what are you not seeing? What's happening out here from an emotional perspective as well? And I know the work I've done with Barry with his eye vision work, he's actually helped people improve that vision. So I hope you haven't closed all doors. I hope that, there's still some aspect of you that wants this to heal, because a lot of it might be the mindset around what it's going to take you into that new space of healing. So very happy to have a conversation with you, and very happy to check out Barry. You can check out barryochettl.com. That's AUCHETTL. It's a funny spelling. AUTTHELL, Ochettl. And you can go to his vision school and have a look what he might offer you there as well. Vision and physical and mental health. Yes, all being looked at, but I believe there always hope for new technology. Certainly there's some amazing technology coming out every single day from different people, and a lot of the technology, a lot of the healing work that's coming out now is quite incredible. Like I've just shared with that lady who had the compressed vertebrae, who's now not having surgery because she did 6 months of intensive energy healing work and got to the place where she unblocked the emotions that were actually causing the trapped nerves to happen in her neck. So let maybe have a look at what other options are out there, and there are probably some incredible options out there for you to deal with. Not quite sure what they might be. That would probably be a consultation to really get to the specifics of what that is. So Christine, physical and mental health. Yep, physical and mental health with high needs. Yeah, absolutely. That's can be a very challenging, but also, as you know, Christine, a very rewarding work when you're in that space of working with physical and mental health. And a lot of people, we have the mental health system across the world, particularly in Australia. 1 in 5 people in Australia have some sort of mental health plan or mental health condition or illness. 1 in 5. That is absolutely incredible statistic in Australia. Incredible. And many of those people are on medication for that mental health, the mental health plan. But what I say to people, we have the physical and mental health. What about the emotional health? What about the spiritual health? Because for me, it's holistic. It's holistic. So when we only have physical health and mental health in our society, and we negate the emotional health and we negate the spiritual health, it's not a full holistic picture. So when I work with people who come with physical and mental health, I also bring in those other 2 aspects. Let's look at the emotional health and let's look at the spiritual health. Because a lot of the challenges of our society today is the lack of spiritual health. If everybody in our society, particularly in the Western society, learned to meditate, for instance, can you imagine the change on the planet if everybody meditated for half an hour a day? Can you imagine if everybody was on a spiritual path and had spiritual morality and didn't speak ill of other people from a spiritual perspective, and were conscious of the way they communicate and they're conscious of the way they work with each other? That's spiritual health. And that's really missing from our society. Just go on the street and stand out there for 10 minutes and watch. Listen to the neighbours, listen to your family members, listen to your friends. Where's the spiritual health? So for me, it's about holistic health, and that's where I try to come from all the time with the life mastery work. Sarah, I dream, and the dream actually becomes to reality in my life. Could you tell me what spiritual gift that is or means, please? Yep. So dreams are a reality for me too, Sarah. It's just another aspect of our being that is unplugged. It's unknown. There's an area of the dream life that we are not yet fully understanding as humans. And it's a huge, big study to bring in the dream. Yep. And when the dreams become reality, yep, it makes one wonder on how real dreams really are. And I believe that, the dream world is probably as real as the reality we live in the physical. It's just that we don't have a full appreciation or understanding of it. But when we do the spiritual practice work, when we learn to traverse over into that spiritual realm, we get to realize that the dream world is almost like that conduit between this 3D world we live in and the spiritual world. It gives us an expression, if you like, an astral expression of what the spiritual world might be like. Because when we're in the dream space, it is more of an astral space. It's not a spiritual space. There's a little bit of a difference between the astral space, which is still connected to our soul, our emotions, our feelings. And our dream life is often still connected to that realm. But when we break through that and go to the spiritual world, it's quite different. We actually cut off from the soul. We don't take the soul into the spirit world. So there's a little bit of a difference, but the dream world often reflects back the reality of what we're living in this 3D corporate space that we actually, corporal space that we actually live in right now. So oftentimes people do experience that. They say, I'm dreaming something and it's become real for me. It's because they're quite closely connected, the dream world and this space. And from the spiritual perspective, there's a bit of a link between that astral dream space as well. So it's a bit of a conduit, that dream space. I hope that makes sense for you. And that is a spiritual gift when you can tune into that dream space and bring it back to reality and manifest that for yourself. And it's about, can you do your lucid dreaming? Can you be in the dream space and know and understand and watch and be in your dream space, knowing that you're in there? And then stepping out of it and choosing to step back into that dream. Because that's good spiritual practice when one can do the lucid dreaming as well. I love that. I'm in the middle of a dream. I jump up to get a glass of water, go to the loo, I come back and just jump back into the dream again from where I left off because I'm present with the dream. So it takes a bit of practice, and that's come from my many, many years of meditation practice where I've learned to step in and out of those different realities. So they're just different realities, and it's just about getting used to them and using them as a gift if that's for you. Could you please PM the vision healing, please? Yep. What I'll do, Cindy, is if you just PM me Adrian Hanks on Facebook, and then I can connect you up and send that for you. But his name is Barry Ocketel, and it's called the Vision School. So you can check that out. BarryOcketel.com or the Vision School, but I can certainly connect you up with that. Cassie, yeah, hello. All good, yeah, Sarah, awesome, thank you too. So just waiting to see if there's any more specific questions on them. Remember to keep the questions as clear and specific as you can, because part of the training in the life mastery work is to get really clear, really consciously clear on questioning. Yeah, so we take away any doubt and we have absolute clarity. So clarity is really important in the work that we do in the life mastery work. It's about overcoming fear, overcoming doubt, and overcoming the lack of self-hatred. So we bring in self-love, we bring in clarity, and we bring in courage. They're the antidotes for those three things. And if we work on those things every single day, we get clearer insight into where we're going in life. We can get really clear on the vision about going forward. So we vision, we get our clear vision, and then we do our planning and we move forward, and then we do the action steps to actually put it into practice. Because it's all about practice. We can live in the vision for as long as we like and nothing happens, then we can start to do the planning, and then of course we put things into action. So, we visualize the book, and then we start planning the book and writing the book, and then the action step is to actually then go and get it edited and published, and then getting it into word and giving it away or selling it to people. And oftentimes that's the blockage. People write books and they have boxfuls of books in their home or in their office because the fear of giving part of their aspect or part of their world to others is quite challenging. The fear of rejection, the fear of people not liking the book, the fear of criticism. There's many, many things that stop us moving forward with our projects, particularly around things like book writing. So it's just about getting the clarity around that so that you're not having those blockages in your life. So A little bit about the dream world, that dream space is we can find that dream space every day. Just in our waking day, we can just take the time to drop out of the 3D reality, close our eyes, and just allow that daydream to happen. Yeah? Just allowing that daydream to happen. And then just sitting with that daydream, allowing the mind to wander. And then bring us back and say, okay, what was that wandering of the mind? Where did that actually come from? Observing ourselves thinking, observing ourselves allowing the mind to be free. And then bringing that back and analyze it and working with it and saying, okay, where did that come from? Where did those thoughts, where did those mind gestures come from? Where did those images come from? You know, do they come from spirit? Do they come from soul? Do they come from an experience we've maybe forgotten and they're just being reminded of them? So we can start to analyze that dream, or the daydream and the night dream, and get really clear on it for ourselves and start to work with it in a more conscious way. You might want to keep a dream book, daydreams, night dreams, and see where they come into relation to your daily life. So many things you can do in that dream realm, just to tune back into that dream question we had earlier. Yeah. Mitchell, hi Adrian, how's your day going? Absolutely fantastic, Mitchell. Having an absolutely fantastic day. Love being on the show. I love my midday show on a Thursday with all things life mastery, and it's great to connect with so many people. So I generally have an awesome day because I start my day well. I start up with a very positive mindset. I do my meditations. I have a healthy start to my day. I do some exercise, go for a jog, go for a run, do a bit of yoga, do some stretching, or just sit and relax for a little while, do that meditation process. And then I just tune in for the day of what it is I need to do. You know, I often write my day list, have my diary with me, and it's all part of that life mastery, is getting in connection with every single day. What am I doing today? What's my focus today? What's my mood today? What's my energy today? Where am I right now, physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually? I ask myself that question regularly. And if you want to get into a practice, you might want to ask yourself that on the hour, every hour. So set your phone from say 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. So the alarm goes off, beep, beep. And when you hear it, ask yourself that question, where am I right now? Physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually. And if you're not in alignment in some way, in that moment, you can choose to bring yourself back into consciousness. So a good little tool, the where am I right now tool. So that's a nice little gift that you can have for free. And you just need to take action and set your phone so the alarm goes off on the hour, every single hour. And I'll tell you, if you do this exercise for 7 days, from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m., and that alarm goes off on the hour, every hour, and you seriously work with it, and you seriously ask yourself that question, where am I right now, physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, 10 or 12 times a day for 7 days, it will totally change your life. Totally change your life, because it'll bring you into consciousness. It'll bring you into alignment more easily, because we cannot hold our consciousness 100% all the time. We get challenged, we get triggered, we have judgments, we have reactions, we have projections, we have fears, we have doubts, we have hatreds. We don't stay in that space of connection and love. It's a very hard place to stay in. We cannot stay in joy continually. It's a hard place to stay in. So if we're off kilter around about the time the alarm goes off, it's a good reminder, what do I need to do to bring myself back in again? Do I need to go and have a conversation with somebody to apologize? Do I need to go and have a conversation to get clarity? Do I need to check in where my emotional state is right now? Am I angry? Am I frustrated? Am I lonely? Am I depressed? And any of those conditions, any of those feelings, any of those emotions, if you're feeling those when that alarm goes off, make the choice to change them. Go for a walk. Read a book. Meditate. Go and do some cathartic screaming if you need to. Go and have a conversation if you need to. Go and have a rest if you need to. Go and write a poem if you need to. But do something. Vision, plan, action. And do something to change that situation you're in that moment. On the hour, every hour, for 10 or 12 hours a day for 7 days. it will profoundly change your life. Absolutely. I've had hundreds of people do this process. Been doing it myself for many, many, many years. It's an exercise I created, and I've written about it quite extensively in my book. And there's actually a whole chapter in here from Carlos, who did this experience many years ago, previous to me writing the book. And he's actually written his own experience in the book about his Where Am I Right Now experience. So very, 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 very powerful experience and exercise and resource for you to have in your life. So anybody listening in, please go and do that resource if you want to be more in alignment. So, because thinking that one is in alignment and actually being in alignment are two different things. Totally, because if you ask somebody else what their perception of, oftentimes it's a different perception we have inwardly, because we're not seeing ourselves from that objective perspective. We're not really knowing how we're acting in the world. We're still in reaction, projection, judgment a lot of the time during the day. A lot of the time. Unconsciously, that we are dealing with those things every single day. I talk often about the connection we have with people and how we are disconnected or connected. How we have sympathy and antipathy and connection or disconnection. And that goes on continually all the time. All the time. Good freezing morning to you. Shay, I'm not sure where you are to be freezing. I'm on the Gold Coast and it's a little bit chilly. I do have my woolly on. And I know other places in Australia are cold, but you may not even be in Australia. Not quite sure where you are. But if it's a freezing morning, rug up warm, stay warm and keep that body in a warm state, because being cold is not a very nice thing. I certainly don't enjoy it. And I've just come back from Europe. I was over in Europe a couple of weeks ago, and just that sunshine, that European warmth was absolutely delicious. I was doing some running around the park in the mornings and then evening walks and just joyously soaking up that European summer sun. And it's a little bit different than the winter sun here in Australia. Although it's not freezing cold here, there's something about that summer warmth that I totally, totally love. So look, on that note, I'm aware of the time. We've got about 8 minutes left of the show. So if anybody has any specific questions on their life, on things pertaining to life mastery, then we probably got time for a couple more questions and see if I can give some answers on that. So if you have anything to share, if you've got any questions, please do ask away. And remember, it's not about me bringing in any psychic abilities on this. It's about empowering you to ask a clear question and then see if I can give you some clear support in the answer I give you. So if there's anything in there for you physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, vocationally, sexually, intimately, or anything else, then please do ask away. Hello, I am at Bribey. Bit cool, looks a bit overcast. Yeah, Bribey, it's up there on the water. Can be a little bit chilly. That's about a couple of hours north for me. I actually went past Bribey. I've got a couple of people I know who live on Bribey. I remember being there a few years ago in Bribey. And of course, that's where the dugongs are. There's quite a few dugongs around Bribey Island in the water there. But one of the most incredible things I saw there when I was in Bribey Island was the bats that flew over. There is a massive bat colony that flies, I believe, quite frequently over Bribey. And I stood there for probably 45 minutes. And I've never seen so many fruit bats in all my life in one group of bats flying over. It was hundreds and hundreds and thousands and thousands and thousands of fruit bats flying over Bribey Island when I was standing there on the beach. It was quite a miraculous experience that I remember quite profoundly. So, okay, Rachel, good question. Will the money come in time? Okay, great question, Rachel. Once again, I'm not going to tune into any psychic abilities or asking any entities about this. This is about you empowering yourself. What measures are you taking to help the money come in? And I explained before, I'm not sure if you were on the show earlier on, but I've been studying financial education very, very deeply for the last 12 months with Skyway Invest Group. It's a company that I've joined. I'm now a partner, and I've actually purchased some education, some financial education, And from that, I've been gifted some pre-equity shares in two little areas, one in the crypto and one in the stock market, pre-stock market. That'll come to fruition hopefully in a very short time. But I've been studying. So I've actually just come back from Belarus in Europe, where I did some leadership training for Skyway Invest Group. And for me, it's about what's blocking me in that financial world. Because a lot of the blockages around finance and money is the subconscious patterning we have, the belief systems we have about the money flow. And I know I've got many myself from my background, from my history, from my family, from what I've learned and my belief systems around money and finance. So I'm changing those thoughts. I'm working on changing those. And I'm getting really clear on my own vision around money and creating my own financial portfolio. And it's wonderful to be able to just speak that language. I now have a financial portfolio where I have invested my time and energy and money into that space. And the biggest part for me, the biggest investment I've made is purchasing the financial education. So I'm reading and studying and watching videos and talking to people. I've got a financial mentor, and it's a profound change in my life to actually take that as a serious study. And I say for 12 months now, I've taken it as a serious study, and I'm still studying. I'm sort of between L plates and P plates, and then I want to get on my P plates and work with it and challenge it and test it. And then once I'm free of my P plates and I'm out there on my full license, I'll be going for this in a big, big way, because it's something I've just chosen not to study for whatever reason. Some blockages around me. So now it's my chosen study. There's only so many things one can study in one's life to, if it's serious, because it takes time. And the finance has been something I've been a little bit stuck with over the years, and had different belief systems, and so now it's really changed for me. So I would say, where's your study? What are you doing with it? If you want some support on that, one way you can do that is skywaycommunity.com. Go and have a look there. There's videos on there. You can connect up and come and join my team for free. Get some free financial education by having your own back office with lots of information on there. And then if you choose to purchase and go deeper like I have, you're free to do so. But there is some free education on there about unblocking any thoughts around not having money flow. So it's a big one, and it is often about the mindset of money and finance. So I hope that helps you, rather than just saying, next week, you're going to get a big fat check in the post and coming from that clairvoyant space. I hope that happens for you too, of course. But the more you put in to help receive that by having your visions, having your clarity, and having a clear mindset with no blockages, then the universe, of course, will deliver more easily and more quickly. And I'm finding that it's coming to me in many, many new ways that I'd never even thought of. And it's quite amazing to have that different financial mindset. So I hope you get that too, and I hope this has helped you. Now, we are coming to the top of the hour. We're coming to 1 o'clock Australian Eastern Standard Time, which means I've been on here for 1 hour. How that time flies. It's quite incredible. It's one of the fastest hours of the week for me, and I love engaging, love connecting. It's wonderful having you here on the show with me. And the way to connect with me, jump on the Facebook, Adrian Hanks. Do send me some private messaging. Do come and connect. If you want some support, if you want to have a 30-minute free consultation with me, we can arrange that to ascertain where you are in life right now, to see if I can be some support as a coach, as a mentor. I also have my mastermind programs, my life mastery programs that you can jump onto as well. And of course, the one-on-one work as well. So there's many, 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 many ways to connect for me. If you want to connect through spiritual directly, send a message through on this to Sarah. She will endeavor to get those messages for me, or you can just do it with me through my Facebook page too. So please go and do check that out. And I will be here again next week. Not sure where from. Oftentimes it's different places. I was in Milani last week. I was in Belarus in Europe the week before. And then this week I am in my studio on the Gold Coast. But who knows what life throws at me. I'm not quite sure where I'm going to be. Hey, in Minnesota. Hey, it's great to have people from overseas too, from all different places on the planet, because we are a global community. We are a global family. Spirituality is not just for one place on the planet. It is for everywhere. And life mastery is for everybody. And the more we empower ourselves, the more we find that unique sovereignty within, where we take charge of our own lives and we become responsible for what we do, what we say, and what we think, then how powerful is that to help heal this beautiful planet that we live on? So I'm going to send you lots of love and lots of blessings. I look forward to connecting with you in a very short while if you want to connect with me, and let's have a conversation further. And also I will see you again next Thursday at midday Australian Eastern Standard Time. Love and blessings. Take care. Bye bye.